May I have your attention, please? Once again, parents, we remind you that in order to abide by state guidelines, we ask that you please remain seated until your section is dismissed by your section attendants following the ceremony. Also, please remember that you are to exit the stadium and go directly to your vehicles. There can be no congregating outside of the stadium. We also ask that you keep your masks on until you have exited the stadium. Garbage cans are located outside of the stadium to discard your masks. Thank you for your cooperation and for coming this evening.
Please stand for the national anthem and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Today we find ourselves at graduation. Despite all the chaos, uncertainty, and frankly, in the midst of a global pandemic, we made it. Even though COVID-19 might have felt like the biggest rift and challenge in our high school careers, if you look around at your fellow classmates, you will see individuals who are determined and strong. You will see peers you know well, whose lives you know intimately, and those you don't. We are a diverse group of people, and we have faced diverse issues that some of us cannot begin to comprehend. Despite this fact, what we all have in common is that we have had our own individual struggles that we have been through. Something we have had to fight tooth and nail to overcome. No matter how you got here today, no matter what battles you have overcome, it has all led up to this moment. A couple months ago, we expected to get here in an entirely different way. We expected to go to prom and to get to spend our last couple months of high school together. But life happens of its own accord, despite what you expect, despite what you plan. When it comes down to it, who you are, the strength and integrity of your character comes from the unexpected. How we handle the situation and many others to come defines our character. And we must keep in mind that life and God has much greater plans for us. On this day, let us not dwell on what we supposedly lost or what things should have been, and let's embrace what is. Today, it is our privilege to be here, to be safe and healthy and among friends and family, and united to celebrate this immense accomplishment. There are lots of individuals who have made this day possible for us. Because of their deliberation, perseverance, and collaboration, we can thank them for making this milestone in our lives a reality. With that, let us greet our futures with open arms and full hearts and embrace the unpredictability and uncertainty of life. Let's take the challenges of our lives head on because we know that they will make us stronger. And finally, let us encourage each other and challenge each other to shine brighter than ever before.
Good evening. I would like to take just a moment to welcome everyone to the 2020 Joshua High School graduation. Although this is not what these students anticipated or envisioned 13 years ago when they began kindergarten, at least we are here. Socially distanced, of course. Tonight, we honor the hard work and their many accomplishments of this senior class. And while this is certainly their time to shine, there are a great many people who have put in a lot of work to help make tonight possible. First, thank you parents, grandparents, and caregivers for your support and guidance. Secondly, thank you Mrs. Merrick and the school board for providing us with a safe and nurturing environment in which to teach and work with our students. Additionally, thank you JHS staff who always go above and beyond, especially this year, ensuring the students reach their full potential. I also want to acknowledge the people who make this event possible, the service department led by Blake Bowman, and the organizers of tonight's events, Mrs. Dina Elrod, Mrs. Sherry Morton, Mrs. Jill Brown, and Mrs. Lindsley Lemaster, and Mrs. Micah Martin. Finally, we're extending a very special thank you to Mrs. Cheryl Atkins, who has been the chief graduation planner for many years. She is retiring this year, and she sure did make it memorable. We're all going to miss you greatly. Before we begin the remainder of our program and the presentation of diplomas, we ask that you manage your celebrations, refrain from the use of noisemakers, and anything else that might distract from the graduate's name being heard. Thank you for your consideration as we honor this very special class of 2020.
As historian, it is my duty to commemorate our past, and boy, have we seen some interesting things. From bottle flipping, to fidget spinners, to arms full of silly bands, to knowing that our graduating year was 2020, we just knew we were going to be iconic. And then the world turned upside down, taking us and our senior year with it. And while it's okay to mourn the things we've missed out on, I want to take a moment to celebrate all the things the class of 2020 has accomplished. Let's remember our soccer girls making it to the regional tournament in 2018. Let's remember girls basketball making it to the playoffs for the first time ever. How about baseball going 4 rounds deep in the playoffs? We had 2 FFA speaking teams place at state, and the livestock judging team place at nationals. The debate team qualified for state, and the yearbook was featured in the Herv Jones folio out of thousands of schools. We have written ourselves into history, and now we stand here, graduating despite this pandemic. Class of 2020, we were right. We would be iconic. We will be remembered not only as the class who overcame the chaos of coronavirus, but also as the class which couldn't stop shattering ceilings. Wherever you go, remember the difference you've made, and don't let anything stop you from continuing to make history.
Ladies, gentlemen, family, friends, classmates, and faculty, good evening. Tonight marks the graduation of Joshua's class of 2020, and it is my honor to give this speech as the hare that lost the race. More professionally, this class's salutatorian. Now, being second place isn't the greatest thing ever, but that's okay. Not everyone gets everything they want in life, and that's okay. If everything in life was handed out for free, well, that would undermine the concepts of confidence, dedication, and hard work. But as for the class of 2020, the things we lost cannot be fixed by those attributes. We became subjected to a force much greater than us, something that none of us could have prevented, and that's okay. Life throws curveballs, almost as good as Zach does. But I digress. Most of us wanted and expected an ordinary school year, and some of us lost things beyond the inconveniences of the school year, and my condolences to them. However, all that we can do as a people is be grateful for what we have and better ourselves to be more fortuitous for the tough times ahead. Arthur G. Michael Hoff once wrote that hard times create strong men, and I believe that all those who have lost something during this pandemic will come out the other end stronger and able to create good times for themselves and their loved ones. And that's what life is about. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And now it is our turn to take the hits, get up, and keep moving forward. Thank you.
For the past 4 years, we have had a general idea of what's next. We have had counselors and teachers to guide us, and an endorsement to outline which classes to take, a docket of criteria we were supposed to meet, and a list of credits we were required to earn. Our days were defined by bell schedules and seating arrangements and which lunch we had. We had everything outlined for us. We felt the anticipation for the end of the day and finally getting to go home and for senior year to be over so that we could begin the next chapter in our lives. I can say with confidence that I took that structure for granted. I just expected that things would proceed normally, that things were guaranteed for us, and that I would get to have all of these last experiences and that we would get to say goodbye to this place, the people, and the life that had been ours for 4 years. However, this just speaks to the fact that the future is uncertain and unpredictable. This can be extremely scary because we like the comfort of plans and knowing what's next and the prospect of getting closure. But if this pandemic, this worldwide shift, has taught me anything, it's that life has no guarantees. It's absolutely imperative that we express our appreciation and gratitude in the moment and while we can, because life is fleeting and the world is constantly changing, and we have to acknowledge those we love in the intricacies of our lives, the sunlight on our skin, laughing in the cafeteria, smiling at someone in the hallway. The unpredictable nature of life gives these little things value and significance. The future may be uncertain, but that also means it's malleable. What's next and what we will accomplish and the people we will be are all up to us. We have the power to choose how we treat others, how we conduct ourselves, and how we react to things that we can't control. A lot of the time, though, it's easy to get intimidated by the future. It's easy to see someone else's accomplishments and talent or their highlight reel on social media and say to yourself, I could never compare to that. Or think about all the reasons why it'll be too difficult or that you're not good enough. It is in these moments of self-doubt that we must realize that we are in control of our destiny. We cannot compare ourselves and our progress and our definition of success to someone else's. We are all moving at our own pace, reaching for different goals, and are free-thinking individuals. If we all reach success in the same way, our journey wouldn't be our own. Our passions and interests wouldn't shine through. If you compare your reality, including your flaws, the bumps in the road, your lowest point, your beginning, to the height of someone else's success, you will never have the courage to be your greatest self. So I ask you to use others' prosperity as motivation and validation that you can do it too. Let us take our first step into the future with confidence in our potential and support for others and faith that although the future is unknown, we have the strength to persevere and conquer any challenges and adversity we face.
Mrs. Merrick, members of the school board, and distinguished guests, at this time, I do hereby certify that these candidates have met all requirements set forth by the state of Texas and are eligible to receive a diploma of completion from Joshua High School.
Gabrielle May Wood. Cale Dalton Keeling. Micah Delaney Bryant. Seth Christian Rasmussen. Molly Brianne Hicks. Brian Zachary Bing Peters. Kelsey Marie Stepik. Alyssa Leanne Stanley. Cassidy Madison Wooten. Lillian Lucille Wilson. Jared Cole Amundson. Charles Gary Anderton. Casey LaRue Anglin. Macy Grace Applegate. Christian Ariano. Stephen Carter Arney. Caitlin Marie Austin. Yusef Khalad Awad. Dylan Cole Baker. Emily Laurel Ray Bartlett. Heather Ann Baxter. Austin Ryan Belleville. Ellie Amanda Berry. Brendan Bailey Bivens. Zalima Blanco. Aaron Christian Bliss. Cheyenne Mackenzie Blood. Brent Anthony Bodine. Brian Todd Bodine. Whitney Lavera Bohan. Charity Lee Boturf. Morgan Page Borzikas. Zoe Lynn Boydston. Thomas Joe Brackle. Danielle Jewel Briley. Camden Patrick Brister. Sebastian Lance Broussard. Caleb Aaron Brown. Tyler Benjamin Barker Brown. Tyler Ezra Bundy. Cody James Burks. Jared Cabrera. Madison Rayanne Kane. Casey Celeste Callahan. Hector Daniel Camargo. Lexus Noemi Galvan Cardenas. Michaela Elizabeth Josephine Carr. Fabiola Carrizales. Karina Carrizales. Colton Keith Carroll. Katie Cheyenne Carter. Juno Zoe Castro. Bailey Ann Camellia Chafin. Jaden Jax Cheney. Tana Renee Claunch. Hannah Lee Coburn. Colby Coffeen. Christian Edward Colazzo. Layla Cherie Collins. Sky Nicole Conway. Emma Catherine Copeland. Nadeli Guadalupe Coronado Morales. Haley Joe Carell. Christopher Joseph Cortez. Madeline Marie Cotton. Jose Juan Covarrubias Gomez. Grant Bennett Cox. Bruce A. Crossan. Kaylee Marie Damron. Carla Davila. James Dean Davis. Riley Megan Davis. Skylar Matthew Davis. Ethan James Paul Deck. Mario Armando Del Rio Charez. Dominic Roy DeLon. Vanessa Maya Dennis. Madison Margaret Duplantis. Brianna Nicole Early. Kennedy Nicole Easter. Macy Claire Eggleston. Alexa Grace Ann Ellis. Christian Riley England. Liam Andrew DeHart Estes. Kirsten Renee Udi. Tristan Leon Farr. Coral Nicole Ferris. Blake Neal Falver. Brianna Nicole Craylan Fields. Rachel Elizabeth Foster. Gregory Michael Fraser Jr. Jaden Grady Frazier. Jaden Reed Furtick. Javier Jr. Galavis. Alex Gandera. Andrea Emilia Garcia. McKenna Claire Garcia. Haley Morgan Garner. Christopher Sean Gaylor Jr. Michaela Renee Gerhart. Landon Reed Guest. Levi J. Gilbert Garrett. Bryson Jace Gilmore. Jace Dalton Leonard Gladden. Gloriana Grace Golubinski. Gracie Rose Granado. Jacob Michael Groom. Aaron Michael Gureka. Benjamin Thomas Guerrero. Maria Concepcion Gutierrez. Dylan Shane Haygood. Victoria Brooke Harper. Allie Lane Haskins. Jalen Dakota Heller. Jasmine Annette Hernandez. Alexis Jose Maria Hernandez Valadez. Miriam Natalie Hernandez Vega. Isabella Christina Herr. Ashlyn Kathleen Hetzler. Travis Trey Holloway. Tyler Reese Holman. Heath Brecken Holt. Megan Bailey Holter. Kinley Nicole Horn. Madeline Phoenix Nicole Howard. Zachary Truman Housley. Hannah Elizabeth Hubbard. Seth Freeman Hubble. Jacob James Hutzel. Erica Stephanie Ibarra. Gino Maricello Ingram. Evelyn Jasmine Isidro. Colton Chase Jackson. Madeline Elaine Jackson Pierda. Ricardo Jimenez Jr. Deja Raina Keeble. Ashton Ryan Kennedy. Jarrett Ryan Kinney. Tina Marie Kilgore. Morgan Leanne James. Haley Bell Johnson. I don't know. Katie Simone Core. Nathan Blaine Ladner. Jennifer Marie Lehman. Taurine Le Mamo Langris. Brian Christopher LaCour. Delilah Gale Lewis. Jasmine Nicole Lewis. Nathaniel Lee Lewis. Zachary Brian Lewis. Tristan Dylan Lyles. Addison Ray Lamone. Alexis Trail Livingston. Sunday Danielle Logan. Zachary Michael Long. Cole Michael Loomer. Nathan Wiley Lunsford. Peyton Nicole Marks. Bryce Vernon Ray Martin. Dylan Ryan Martin. Nike Trent Martin. Evangeline Victoria Martinez. Monique Annabella Martinez. Perla Martinez. Seth Marshall Massey. Jacob Caleb Matson. Meadow Blue McCamus. Ashlyn Nicole McBrayer. Heath Logan McFatridge. Annika Raylyn McGee. Emily Claudia Medina. Ana Luz Millan Cabrera. Abigail Muchalian Millender. Rayleigh Ann Minnick. Nick Morellis. Abigail Dawn Mitchell. Felicia Marie Mobley. Jonah Han Moore. Hayden Matthew Morgan. Jasmine Janae Morgan. Kaylin Mae Morris. Hayden Christopher Myers. Jacqueline Mia Naven. Julian May Neal. Samantha Michelle Neely. Caitlin Nicole Nelson. Matthew Chase Nevels. Eric Carson Nichols. Shakay Nita Nichols. Cole James Noblet. Gabrielle Monet Nunn. Johnny Ohayan Salazar. Udo Chuco Antonia Orji. Jose Martin Orozco. Jennifer Kate Owen. Colton Dale Paget. Matthew Taylor Parks. Jacob Ray Parrish. Bailey Deanne Payne. Avi Edovagan Pena. Cameron James Perez. Marissa Layla Francisca Perez. Brian Perez Aguilar. Amelia Nicole Pesqueda. Isabella Marie Pesqueda. Elizabeth Haley Pearson. Cyrus Romel Prentice. Caleb Jackson Price. Vincent Xavier Quick. Sarah Catherine Rashall. Alexis Renee Radke. Victoria Elizabeth Radke. Danielle Renee Ramos. Mark Vincent Ramsey. Samuel David Ramsey. James Kane Reeves. Caden J. Richmond. Sharon Rhiannon Rigney. Manuel Ivan Rios. Aiden Sebastian Rodriguez. Santiago Jordan Rodriguez. Ximena Belen Rodriguez. Matthew Rodriguez Gomez. Maria Gladys Rodriguez Lopez. Ulisa Romano Sanchez. Reese Avery Rumfield. Michael Edward Rush. Carissa Rose Sanchez. Ludwika Delana Sandoval. Mario Flair Santos. Kaylee Alexandra Sasser. Sydney Ray Shepler. Taylor Michelle Sargent. Austin Malachi Segler. Grace Addery Sharp. Macy Gale Short. And Alice Angel Simpson. Lexi K. Sisson. Elizabeth Muriel Slayton. Brenna Shane Smith. Isaac Glenn Smith. Jaden Elias Smith. Caden Scott Smith. Zachary David Smith. Zoe Alicia Smith. Emily Jo Smythe. Hannah Grace Snapka. Sailor Rain Snyder. Dakota James Spann. Marshall Lyon Stottlemyre. Robert Brennan Strebeck. Jacob Dylan Tarr. James Dalton Tate. Ashton Cheyenne Taylor. Kelsey Dawn Taylor. Sierra Nicole Taylor. Jaden Parker Teal. Dakota James Thill. Alexa Carol Ann Thompson. Michaela Lynn Thompson. Haley Torres. Brandon Anthony Michael Tribble. Austin J. Trimble. Catherine Margaret Trout. Trent Colin Tucker. Ashley Nicole Taz Underwood. Osvaldo Arturo Ortiz. Laura Christine Valdez. Elizabeth Valencia. Hector Vargas. Jocelyn Ayana Vasquez. Edward Vasquez. Madison Leanne Villanueva. Jacqueline Villasana Martinez. Kylie Rayanne Walker. Robert James Whiting. Alexander Stevens Williams. Brian Patrick Williams. Ethan Jace Wood. Matthew Andrew Neal Wright. Colby Jarrett Wynn.
The sudden end to our senior year left us with a lot of goodbyes unsaid. But maybe that was a good thing, because for some of us, the word goodbye is one of the hardest words to say. So instead of goodbye, I want to say, see you later. As Tony Stark once said, part of the journey is the end. We have now hit the end of our high school journey, and as we are about to open a new chapter of our lives, whether that is college, vocational school, the workforce, or the United States military, this next chapter of our lives would have never happened without our teachers, who taught and shaped our minds even when we didn't realize it. So I want to take a second to say thank you and goodbye to all the teachers who have been a part of this journey with us. When I was told about the speech, they said that I could give the closing remarks. And for me, that means giving the benediction. If you don't know what the benediction is, it is an optional prayer blessing the senior class. So if you would like, please bow your heads. Dear Father, thank you for this opportunity to gather here tonight, and for the JHS class of 2020 getting to walk this stage. Please bless our seniors as they go out into the world and embark on this new chapter of their lives. Amen. See you later, class of 2020.
Parents, students, Ms. Merrick, School Board, Ms. Neal, I now present to you the class of 2020.
Attention parents, in order to abide by state regulations, we ask that you please remain seated until your section is dismissed by section attendants. Also, please remember that you're to exit the stadium and go directly to your vehicles. There can be no congregating outside of the stadium. We ask that you keep your masks on until you have exited the stadium. Garbage cans are located outside of the stadium to discard masks. Thank you for your cooperation and for coming this evening. We hope all of you have a safe night.